Hi, this is Sweet June. I'm back cooking my dinner. Um, um, this is a little different than video than what I normally do, but try to switch it up a little bit and broaden my horizons and do something really different. Probably going to be this is I'm have interest in like my interests and things, other things that I'm interested in to come on here and talk about. And I love real estate. I really, really, really love real estate. I wouldn't mind becoming a real estate investor someday. Um, but I love real estate. I'm a real estate fanatic. I love real estate. And I love HGTV. HGTV is one of my favorite channels on television to watch. I love watching, you know, um, flipping stuff like people flipping houses and they I love how they take a house that's raggedy, need a lot of work, and then they turn it around and they flip it and they turn it into something really beautiful. I love that. I love that. And I love to watch the house flipping shows. Um, I just love real estate. Anything to do with real estate, I love it. I'm just a real estate fanatic. So I love that channel. There's a lot of shows that I love on HGTV, and some of my favorite shows that I love on that channel is House Hunters. I love House Hunters. I love House Hunters. That's like one of my favorite shows. The House Hunters International. I love to see the House Hunters International is. I love that one because it gives you the opportunity to see the different countries and you know and, um I love the guess and pick which house they're gonna pick and which one and I just I love looking at all the beautiful different houses that they look at and sometimes it blows my mind how much money some of these people have. Some of these people have so much money and I just think it's beautiful. I really have learned over the years. I've learned a lot about real estate. I kind of study real estate. I kind of study the market here where I'm in my local area where I live, and kind of study the market and everything. Because like I said, I'm a real estate fanatic. And one day I wouldn't mind becoming a real estate investor. You know, um, but I watched a show on HGTV, and it's called Tiny House Hunters, and I noticed that is a fad these days. That it's I don't know. That's a big question for me. Um, People, if you ever get a chance to, well, I don't know how many of you guys love to watch that channel, but if you ever get a chance to watch HGTV, check out Tiny House Hunters. Tiny House Hunters. It's about people giving up their great big homes that they're living in, and they're opting for these little bitty tiny houses. Anyway, this show is very, very fascinating. It's very fascinating to watch because it amazes me how tiny these houses is, and these people move into these really tiny houses. I mean, you know, um, like I said, I don't know if this is just a fad or is this something that people really want to do, or are they doing it because it's a fad? That's a good question. I don't know because it is a fad right now. Is tiny house living is very very popular right now, and it just seems that a lot of people are doing it. I think it's a good idea for the homeless. Um, I think some cities are starting to do that. Some cities are starting to build tiny houses for the homeless people. I think it's a great idea for the homeless people. You build little tiny houses for the homeless people to live in, and maybe make a whole buy some um square footage or whatever and buy acres of land and then put some tiny homes on it for the homeless people, and then that would give the homeless people a place to live. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great concept for the homeless people. It's something simple, and it's not that expensive for them to keep it up, and and everything. And, they're already used to living in small spaces. So it would be great. It'll give them a shelter, give them a roof over their head. They don't have to worry about sleeping on the street. I think it's a great idea for the homeless. But a lot of people are like downsizing. They're downsizing. They're moving out of their large homes into a tiny house. And my question is, I don't know how they do that. I don't know how they do that because I know I have a 3-bedroom house, and I know my thing is closet space. It's like right now I'm taking up 2 closets in my house because I have small closets in my house, and right now I'm taking up 2 closets. And my son, I told my son that I got to have that closet. He's got the closet in this room. This is my office slash studio. And I told him, I said, his room is across from mine. I said, I got to have that closet because I have so many clothes, um, because I said, I will go crazy. I said, I will literally go crazy if I have to cram everything into my one closet in my bedroom. I told my son, I will literally go crazy. So I told him I needed that closet space. I have a lot of shoes. I'm kind of a shoe fanatic, and I have a lot of shoes, and I have lots of clothes. My work clothes, my casual, and of course for when I go to the hall and everything, I have a lot of dresses and things for when I go to the hall. So, and boots, I have a lot of boots and shoes and everything like that. So my big thing is closet space. I gotta have closet space. And I think that's a big thing for a lot of women. Women love closet space. And so my thought is, I don't know if I can imagine. I can definitely understand the concept behind downsizing. Some people, you save more money. You obviously, if you're living in a tiny home, you don't have to pay as much mortgage. Your mortgage would be cheaper. So yeah, I can understand it financially. It would be a lot more affordable. Downsize and go to a little tiny house. But then space wise, like a lot of these tiny homes don't have any closets in them. And it just seems like I would go nuts not having any closet space. I mean, and so, but some of these tiny homes, it depends on what it is. Some of them, like, if you guys take a look at the show, some of them are so small. I'm like, they gonna live in that? I was like looking at one, and one of them didn't even have a toilet. They just had a can. And I'm like, wait a minute, now they're going a little bit too far with that. A can, they didn't have a toilet, just had a can. I'm like, oh no, 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 that's not gonna work. And so some people um want to downsize. Like I said, it's good reason for financially you want to save money. Some people want to minimize their space, but like, what do you do for closet space? That's a big question. And then a lot of them have loft spaces at top. Some of them are really, really pretty. Some of them are really beautiful. They have the little loft space at the top, and you climb up a ladder to go to the bedroom. Some of them have stairways going up to the bedroom. The bedroom is in a little loft area, and then they got their little living area and the kitchen area. A lot of that times that's combined. But my question to you guys watching: would you consider living in a tiny home? Would you consider tiny home living? Me myself, I'm not never gonna say never, but I don't know. Like I said, I gotta have my closet space. And what about storage space? Like I got in my house, I have a coat closet for my coats. I got a 3 bedroom, so I have a closet in each bedroom. But like I said, to me, they're small, so I have to have 2 closets. I got my closet and the closet in my son's room, and in the closet that's in here in this room, um, my son uses it, and I have my coat closet, and I have a linen closet. So, and then I have my basement, which right now we're not even gonna talk about the basement, how the basement's looking, but got a major work to do down there. Let's put it like that. But what about storage space? I mean, I can definitely understand the concept of downsizing. Downsizing, if you're living in a tiny space, you're not gonna have as much stuff. And sometimes, right now I'm in the process of trying to purge and try to get rid of a lot of stuff that in the basement that I had stored for years. And sometimes we need to do that. Yes, it's very important to do that. Because you definitely don't want to be a hoarder. So, but I try to think about it, marinate on, could I live in a tiny home? I think if I had to, I could if I had to, but um, I don't know. It's just as far as I would have a problem with not having any closet space, and I like to be able to flow from one room to the next. And I just can't see climbing up no ladder with with my arthritis and everything. I can't see climbing up no ladder to get to the bed. I like to be able to just walk into my other room. In my house, everything's on one floor, so I like to be able to just walk into the other room, and go to bed instead of having to climb up a ladder to go up to a loft. Some of them have little stairs to go up to the bed, but then you got to crawl up there to go to bed and everything. So, and then you go to the bathroom, you got to climb down. It's just I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. I think if I had to, and if it was a more affordable option, let's say I relocated to another city, and if it was an affordable option, yeah, I probably would consider it. But right now, I can't see myself living in a tiny home, you know. But that's a good question. Are these people doing it because it's a fad, or are they really doing it? I think some people, yeah, really want to downsize, and some of them people like to travel, like to relocate a lot. So some of the tiny homes are portable. They can hook them onto the car or whatever, or the truck, and then they can take it with them, park it somewhere, and sack up in that area. So that's a good idea too. So that's a good question. Go. Let me know in the comment section what you would do. Would you live in a tiny home, or do you think it's a fad, or do you think this is something that a lot of people are considering? Um, Now there's a difference, mind you. There's a difference between a tiny home and just a small house, because you have your small houses, but then you have your tiny homes. That's the difference, because a small house is you got your two or you got your three bedrooms, and then you got your bathroom, and you got more square footage in just a small house. But a tiny home is, you only have a few hundred square feet in a tiny home. So everything is compartmentalized in one little tight area. Like you got your living area and your kitchen all squeezed up in there together, and then you got you have a little. In some cases, they have like a loft area where they go up a ladder and they go up to their little sleeping area, and it depends on what kind you get. So I wonder if this is just a fad. I noticed that, like I said, they have a show on HGTV called Tiny House Hunters. I was watching it one night and marinating. I said, "Is this a fad? Is this something people are doing this because it's popular? It's a fad, or is this something people are really really consider?" I know it's a great idea for the homeless. It would be an excellent idea for the homeless all over the country. But anyway, you guys let me know what you think. Would you consider living in a tiny home? And do you think it's a fad? Or if this is something that a lot of people want to do. Okay, let me know. I got more interesting video topics coming up. This is Sweet June.